that, particularly for Christians, we can draw people to Christ by not being who we are. It's not lost on me that the God that is in us for us to share with people who we are, to draw them closer to Him. So I guess that last video just wasn't meant to be, because now I'm starting over. But anyway, I wanted to talk to y'all real quick about why I started this channel. I realized I've kind of been vlogging and never talked about it. So this is not my first YouTube channel. The other one, I meant well, but it never really popped. But that's neither here nor there. Well, I rewind back to 2017 when I was starting coaching for my business. Sorry, y'all. When I was starting coaching for my business, and I remember thinking like, yo, I really don't feel like people tell like the whole story. Now, the whole story behind like how their business is going, or you know, how they got to where they are, what have you. Now, there's more of that online now because, you know, we're in the age of authenticity and, you know, who we are and, you know, what we do and blah, blah, blah. So I remember thinking, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna name it Beyond Smoke and Mirrors. So that's what I did. But what ended up happening when I saw that post in 2018, I was like, yo, like, why don't we just tell the truth? Like, and again, if we're not gonna tell the story, then just don't tell the story. But if we're gonna tell the story, tell the story for real. And I get it, like there's some things that, you know, like I won't talk about my job, or I won't talk about this going on, you know, personally with me that involve other people, because you want to respect that and their privacy and, you know, stuff like that. And that's, you know, just what it is, because there's some stories here I will never tell, but I can't tell them because they involve other people. So but yeah, so then I was like, you know, I told him, I was like, I'm gonna rename my blog. You know, at the time I think it was Too Cute to Be Fat or something like that. Rename the blog, and I'm gonna call it Beyond Smoke and Mirrors. And it took me a while. Like, it took me a while to start the Instagram page. Like, I didn't start it until over a year later. I did rename the blog, but I didn't really do like anything with it. Typical my MO, like start stuff. I do finish things. I don't want to front like I don't finish things, but in this case, like when it comes to stuff like this, I'm not always the best about doing it and seeing it through. But I felt very strongly about it because I felt like there were a lot of people who probably felt like me, who, you know, are watching like their friends, you know, be a version of themselves on the internet, somebody that they're not, when actually, oh great, when actually who they are is good enough, or just, you know, whatever the case may be, like just even feeling the need to conceal who we really are, so that people, you know, don't, you know, so that people don't feel a certain way, or that we don't like who we are, or what our struggles are, you know, whatever the case may be. And I don't think that, particularly for Christians, we can draw people to Christ by not being who we are and by not sharing the scars of who we are. I have made so many mistakes, and some of them a lot of them I will talk about here. And then even some of them are just life, like, you know, life happens to us all, and so it brought about challenges and, you know, this, that, and the third. But I created this channel because I wanted to be the type of person that shared what God had brought me through, versus, you know, oh, I just pop out, you know, amazing, and, you know, now I'm skinny, and, you know, my finances are in order, and, you know, the kids are just doing, you know, all the things, and they're out here being world-class citizens, and, you know, my marriage is perfect, and da 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 da. My marriage is close to perfect because my husband is almost perfect. Okay, so he's not and I'm not, but it was funny. So yeah, so that's why I basically started this channel. You know, on Instagram, if you follow me, you'll see that I say my about is that I'm building a community of women who basically want to go beyond the curated pretty of Instagram and tell the real story. So that was the impetus for it. And then because the other thing is, you're watching me actually go through an evolution myself of learning not to care about what people think. I always thought that I didn't care, and then some things happened to me in the last couple years where I realized, yes, I do. And I also realized that the only way to get over it is to just go through it. So I started this channel because I wanted to share the things that I like in my own little world, but also because it's not lost on me that the God that is in us for us to share with people who we are, to draw them closer to Him. And for some people it's different interests. One of your friends could have a tattoo that you think is great, and then you'd be like, oh man, you're a Christian, I didn't know you had ink or whatever. And let's not get into theology here about that and whatever else. That's another conversation for another day. But just different things draw people to people and draw people to God. And I never want my light to be dim because I'm afraid of how I'll be received. The reality is, everybody's not gonna like everybody. It would be nice if we did, because we are to love one another as we love ourselves, or treat others the way that we want to be treated, and that we're to love our brother, that we're all made in the image of God. But y'all know some people personalities is trash because they just, either are being used by the enemy or they just got trashy tendencies. I mean, whatever. Everybody's not a stellar human being. And try as I might to, see the best in people. And, it's a couple friends here to tell you, like, that's my MO. I try my very best, sometimes to my detriment, of letting people run over me and treat me a particular kind of way. But the reality of it is that I'm never going to be who God has called me to be by being afraid or being worried about what other people think or what they say. This channel was supposed to be already, and I was sitting over here pussyfooting around with it and tripping about it because low-key I was probably afraid of how I was going to be received, and the fact that everything wasn't how I wanted it to be. Like, I live in a 1,200, not even, it ain't even 1,200 square foot, like 1,100 square foot apartment, and in no way, shape, or form am I ashamed of my apartment. I actually love my place. But we didn't land here because we just wanted to live in an apartment. We used to own a home, and life and circumstances landed us here. And I'll tell that story one another day, like in depth. But I wanted the right setup, and I wanted the right camera equipment, and I wanted all of this stuff. And the reality is, it was all really just excuses. And I want to shout out Miss Singletary, my 11th grade AP history teacher, for teaching us that excuses are tools of incompetence that build monuments to nothing. Those that specialize in them are seldom good at anything. And that's just the fact of the matter. And I've been out here playing around with the gifts and talents that God has given me, around here walking around with imposter syndrome, being all nervous, for no reason. Because it ain't like I'm scared to talk to people. I love people. It's not like I'm scared to talk in front of a camera either. It's literally about it was about perception, and me worrying about the perception of other people. And here's the thing, I can't be like, don't nobody have no heaven or hell to put me in, and then keep myself in bondage. That is mega dumb. Mega dumb, and I'm not doing that anymore. So whoever sees it, sees it. Whoever don't see it, don't see it. Of course, I want the channel to grow. Of course, I want people to subscribe. Now, here's the challenge. I'll do stuff like put this on YouTube. Don't care what stranger watches it, but see the trouble I have promoting it on Facebook, on Instagram, where people who, know me can actually get a peek inside my life. It's crazy that that's like a thing, but it's like, it's a thing. And so I have been told by people, like, one of the things that we like love about you is that you're so authentic. And I've had to ask myself, like, are you really? Because truth be told, on the inside, it's almost like you're a scared little girl. Like you're still that girl that's in high school that was concerned with what people thought about you, how they felt about you. And you know, you wanted to fit in, like not to the point of like how I dressed or how like my behaviors, like I wasn't smoking weed or none of that just because other people did it. But I did want the girls on the cheerleading squad to like me. I did want, you know, to not be looked at as the super like nerdy, geeky girl or whatever. But then I still want to be that. I want to be accepted in, you know, both realms and, you know, whatever. And now, approaching 40, or 41, 41, I don't care like like I used to care, because I'm pretty self-assured and my life is, you know, good with the pitfalls and all. I've had a blessed life and I've done some good things. But, you know, a situation happened at work that showed me, sis, maybe you do care some about certain people that you give credence in your life, you know. And I think that's natural, like people that you care about or whatever, that you do hold what they say in particular esteem or whatever. But everybody that's in your life doesn't warrant that. And I think for me, I was doing some of that. I was giving people space to speak into my life that didn't have the didn't have my best interest at heart, or were talking to me because they were being self-seeking, or, you know, they were taking advantage of the fact that I, you know, do care about how they feel about me, and, you know, whatever. So yeah, no more, because I've been living in like fear. And I think some of it has to do with the rejection that I felt from my biological father. It's not that he doesn't love me and that he meant to reject me. He was addicted to drugs and he left when I was very young. And so as a child, you process that as abandonment. And, you know, I just kind of did what we do, as a lot of us do as humans, to cope, and just kind of was like, oh, I'm straight. You know, it is what it is. I'm good. And never really dealt with it. And then got married and realized I had all these daddy issues. And then also let like people in my life that kind of could fill that role, for lack of a better expression, almost kind of damaged me, to be honest. Like it was one of the situations where I took what people said to heart, and, you know, really, I don't owe anyone that. Like I have been quoted as saying I don't fear anyone but God. And while that is true, because I don't, while that is true, I realize that I have let people in that shouldn't have been let in, all in the interest of, you know, not wanting to offend, or not people pleasing. Or people pleasing. And no, it's not healthy. It's not where I should have to be in life. It's not what God would want me to do. Should I love my brothers and sisters? Absolutely. Should I love my Christian brothers and sisters? Absolutely. But I also do not believe that God the Father, Jesus, or the Holy Spirit would want me to be manipulated, run over, or treated any kind of way. And I have given people in my life chance after chance after chance. I forgive. I am a forgiver. You know, I don't hold grudges. I be wanting to, y'all. I be wanting to hold grudges. But I don't. It's not my makeup, and it takes up space and energy. So I don't. But also with that, I think there was a little bit of naivety on my part with a lot of this. So anyway, this channel isn't a space for me to have talk therapy with y'all per se. It really is a space for y'all to see somebody who is not perfect, but has something to share, has a lot of experiences in life, you know, has a nice family, you know, we're pretty all right, a pretty good career, but also somebody who has just made tons of mistakes, and in how I've handled relationships and how I've handled people, just different things. So but also with that being said, somebody who loves making things pretty, who loves cooking, who loves fashion, who wants to wear things that don't match, but has been afraid to do that because I've been overweight for so long, and be my whole authentic self. I've been breaking down these barriers and social constructs, and fighting back against things that I don't think make sense, particularly over the last year. Feeling very akin to my people. Let me be clear, I'm more for Christ than for culture now. I'm a Christian woman who loves the Lord, but I love my people, and there's nothing wrong with loving my people. Dealing with the fact that I was taught and brought up in a space of respectability politics, and just learning to really love myself, and but want more of God than I want of me. So the channel is really about going beyond the smoke and mirrors of the things that we as humans get into every day. The things that we say on the internet, the things that we subscribe to, and all of that. Is hope that you guys come along for the journey. Hope that my prayer is that whoever finds this channel is blessed by it, feels free to be who they are in Christ. This girl is gonna share crazy looking stuff as I evolve more. I'll share the successes, I'll share the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I love you all already. God bless you for being here. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell everybody who like watching YouTube. Share the channel, subscribe, especially if you made it this long. God bless you. But take good care of yourself, and I will catch up with you all really soon. Peace out.